I'm going to call this little trinket dish an elegant one because I think blacks and metallics and golds and stuff is just really elegant. So I've got my black clay rolled out here, and it was done on a number 2 by Atlas. And on the back, this is Primo Bronze. And I ran the Primo Bronze on I think it's on a number 3 or 4. I ran it through my pasta machine with this texture sheet, the little bubbles that I like so much. And I thought, you know, I already have a silver backing on one of these with just this bubble texture. So why don't I put this on top of it and roll it through the pasta machine again, and let's see what we get. If I didn't like it, I could always smush it back up and start again. But this is really cool. Again, it's somehow, and I don't have an answer, but it is putting sparkle into the clay because it's metallic, and I guess the shape of this spongy type texture sheet. But it's really pretty, so that's something you need to try on different things. It just doesn't have to be something elegant, but this is a really cool look. And this is going to be the soap dish that we put it on. And I'm going to use one of the peacock feathers. We'll see which one seems to fit the dish better. And I'm going to use Mica Powders. And that's what I'm going to do first, is silk screen the micas onto the black clay. Okay, now this is the one that we did on the Skinner Blend one. And since this one I think is more elegant looking than this one, let's put this one with the metallics on there. Now let's see which way it will fit. Will it look better straight up and down, or does it look better curved a little bit? I think maybe curved a little bit. Let me set this out of the way so I don't drop it and break it. And I'm going to turn my sheet around. Put it down, make sure it doesn't have any air bubbles in between the 2 layers of the clay or underneath my work surface, what I'm doing right. So let me make sure that it's down really well. Oh, this is sparkle gold. And I thought that I would put it up the center. And this brush may be too soft. Yeah, it's too long. The bristles are too long. Got another one, but it's not quite as detailed, but it's shorter bristles. So let's see what this one does. Yeah, this one's working better. I like Mica Powders, the metallic ones especially, on darker clays. Some of them will show up on lighter clays okay, but I just think that a lot of times they show up better on darker clays. Okay, as you can see, I've got all different colors out here. And I was going to start after I got my stem in, or my feather vane, whatever that's called. Eye of birds, I should know. I wanted to do some darker areas towards it and then lighter areas out on the ends. So let's go over here. And this is antique copper. And it's a true copper. It's got the red in it and stuff. And I'm just going to take that up a little bit. Right up before the curve. And these are little fine lines, so you've got to make sure you get your mica powders in there so your design will show up. Okay, let me wipe this off. I am going to take a little piece of parchment paper that I have here, and I'm just going to lightly burnish the mica powders into the clay. Okay, I'm going to lift up the corner and slowly peel it back. And that's real pretty. Okay, so I put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on my baby wipe here. I'm just going to wipe off gently the surface of the black just to clean it up a little bit, because black and white's so hard to keep clean. Going to take this texture sponge, and again I'm going to do all of the outside again, just like I did on the last one. Okay, I can always do that again as I put it onto the dish when I'm pressing it on there, so it will add some more texture. Okay. There. So now let's put it on the dish. I don't need to put any type of glue or anything on the dish. It's not staying on there. We're going to pop it off after it's baked. You just need to make sure there's no air bubbles between your clay layer and your dish, because they will pop up. And this is where I said you could take the texture sponge and come back in and texture it while you're putting it on the dish. I'll make sure that my sides are all down with no air bubbles. Then I'm going to turn it upside down and push down. Now you don't have to do this, but I just think it's the easiest way to get it to go around the lip. Well, let me just cut this off now. I'll go back and trim it up. Okay, I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. I'm going to run it, lay it flush with this edge, and you may have to hold your clay down while you're doing this. It's not used to being in this position, so it needs to get a little bit acquainted with the surface. My clay's a little bit on the dry side. It's been sitting out here together for a day or so. Just hold your clay down right as you're cutting. So what do you think? It seems like it needs something down in that left corner. I don't know what yet, but I like to think about that before I bake it. Now I do have a black snake rolled out to go around this. Personally, I think they look better with the edging going around it. You do not have to do this. And let me make sure I've got it out. To where it'll fit. Yeah, I think it will. Let me just warm it up a little bit. It's been laying out on my desk for a day or so too. Because it's such a long surface and I want to do it in one piece, I think I'm going to put some liquid clay going around the edge of this to help keep it on there. Just putting it on the top edge. I don't want to get anything on the dish because I don't want the clay sticking to the dish. But just around the top edge. And it doesn't take much. But it will help you hold this in place as you go. Just press it down gently because I want to keep the roundness to it. I want to go back in with a tool and make a design and put mica powders on it. And it's one reason I didn't go on and put something down here in the left hand corner because I wanted to see what it looks like when I get this part done. It's a little bit thin, so I'm going to double it back over there. So it's a little bit thicker, and I'll work that out. Check all around from the inside, make sure that your rope is touching your clay. Just smoothing this clay out where it joins together. 2 sizes of a needle tool. And I'm just going to press them down into the clay. And it doesn't have to be far, it doesn't have to leave much of a design, just something that you can see. And it doesn't matter if you need to sit and measure this out and make sure each one's perfectly spaced, feel free to do so. And pressing these down will also help the clay stick to the surface better. Okay. Now I'm going to take the smaller one in the opposite direction and make like an X. I'll make sure my edges are all smooth, clean them up. I need to cut a couple of little bits of clay off these corners right here. And after this is baked and you let it cool completely, and you go to take it off of here, all you have to do is put something sharp like an X-Acto knife or a blade underneath between the bottom layer of clay and your glass, and break the seal where it's sectioned together while it's been baking. If you get mica powder where you don't want it, take some clear tape and put on it. And press down. So what do you think now? I still think it needs something down here, and I'll think of that before I bake it. So this one's ready to go into the oven.